How do we make the world a better place? We need to look to the future, to search for sound solutions, to create sustainable practices, to embrace emerging energy. Hello everyone, I'm your host Antoinette Toss, and welcome to Emerging Energy, a program that focuses on the energy sector and the impact of conserving energy for a better future for all. Ever wonder who the go-to guys are when it comes to making sure that energy is efficiently used in every sector, whether private, public, industrial, or commercial? We call them energy efficiency practitioners. Thanks to Department Circular Number DC 2021-01-0001, we now have guidelines for the training, regulations, and certification process of these energy efficiency practitioners. It takes a village to collectively ensure energy efficiency and conservation in all sectors. Enter the energy efficiency practitioners to help us cover all bases. These are energy conservation officers, energy managers, and energy auditors. On top of them is an ESCO, or Energy Service Company, designed to improve energy efficiency and reduce operations and maintenance costs for its customers' facilities. To talk more about the energy efficiency practitioners, we are joined by our resident expert, DOE's Energy Utilization Management Bureau Director, Patrick Aquino. Great to have you with us again, Director Patrick.
Thanks for having me back, Tony.
And of course, for this episode, we'd like to start with reminding everyone that the government is not alone in implementing the Energy Efficiency Conservation Act. Now, there are people, even in private organizations, that deal with EEC. Now, can you tell us more about the EE practitioners? Who are they and what do they do?
Okay, our EE practitioners include a Certified Energy Conservation Officers. Certified Energy Conservation Officers, or CECOs, are individuals that demonstrate high levels of proficiency, competency, and ethical fitness in energy management. They are assigned to Type 1 designated establishments. A candidate for a CECO must have at least 2 years of hands-on experience. So that means they should be in the installation, operation, and maintenance of energy-consuming machines and equipment in those Type 1 designated establishments. Meanwhile, Certified Energy Managers, or CEMs, are professionals engaged in energy management who are a graduate of a 4-year course, preferably engineering, that demonstrates high ethical fitness when it comes to energy management. So CEMs are actually responsible, Tony, for planning, leading, managing, coordinating, monitoring the activities for the energy management systems of Type 2 designated establishments. Candidates for CEM must have at least 3 years of continuous hands-on experience for Type 2 designated establishments. And finally, we have the Certified Energy Auditors, or those engaged in energy audit. They are individuals with at least 1 year of continuous experience conducting energy audits.
Now, when we speak of energy efficiency practitioners, please tell us more, and our viewers, why do we need them?
Well, energy efficiency practitioners are needed to guide our designated establishments as well as the private sector in managing their energy consumption. They provide you with the services needed for you to be able to comply with your obligations, or what we call responsibilities, under the AEC Act.
So for new businesses, there might be some startups or new companies or newly established brands that are wondering, do new businesses also need to have their own EE practitioner, and why?
Right now, the basis for Type 1 or Type 2 or even other designated establishments is on their annual energy consumption. So the responsibilities start at 100,000 kilowatt-hour equivalent. That's your annual energy consumption that includes fuel and electricity. For Type 1 designated establishments, that's for 500,000 kilowatt-hour equivalent or higher. And then for Type 2 designated establishments, that would be 4 million kilowatt-hour equivalent or higher. So the answer is, it depends on how much electricity, fuel, or overall energy that a business consumes.
How about for energy service companies, would it be important for them to have their own EE practitioners?
Well, energy service companies are actually the partners for compliance by designated establishments and individuals like you and me. They provide multi-technology solutions, which includes financing, technology solutions, systems, and services to guide us in our energy efficiency journey. The guidelines for ESCOs are under Department Circular DC number 2020-09-0018, which sets forth for the rules, procedures in the administration, classification, and certification of energy service companies or ESCOs. They all contribute to our pursuit for the National Energy Efficiency and Conservation Plan. For registered ESCOs, they meet the minimum requirements for the legal and technical capacities, the validity of which would be for 3 years. For certified ESCOs, in addition to meeting the requirements for legal and technical, they also have proven results-based savings experience as well as financial capability with their certificates valid for 5 years.
Thank you so much, Director Patrick. Up next, we'll delve into the role of an EE practitioner when emerging energy returns.
Sa planta kasi maraming gumagawa at nag-iisip ng ways on how to reduce energy consumption. But then there is an on and off activities.
They're considered green jobs because they help in our sustainability journey. By minimizing the amount of energy we consume, we also lessen our requirements in terms of power generation.
On this episode of Emerging Energy, we're talking about the respective roles of each energy efficiency practitioner in energy management. We are still joined by our resident expert, DOE's Energy Utilization Management Bureau Director, Patrick Aquino. Let's also welcome Engineer Albert B. Revilla, a certified energy manager at EMD Technologies Philippines Incorporated. And we've also heard that you are a champion in what you do. Welcome to the show, Engineer Albert, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, for Engineer Albert, we would like to ask you, as a maintenance department manager, what are your duties and roles in the implementation, of course, of EEC practitioners in your establishment and of course, your location?
My role as the maintenance department manager is to ensure that our machines are running and available when these are needed by the production people. So dito pa lang, our contribution to the plant's overall efficiency ay nandoon kasi once na tumigil ang makina, there's no production output, but then we are consuming electricity. So bukas ang aircon, bukas ang ilaw, and then the machines the motors that are included in the machines are running, and also the heaters in our processes are still on, although there are no production output. So in terms of our energy efficiency index, that is a kilowatt hour consumption, and over our output, hindi maganda ang magiging resulta pagka ang availability ng makina ay hindi tuloy-tuloy. So availability of our machines are very important in our KPIs in the maintenance department. And in terms of machine efficiency, the efficiency of our machines should be controlled and improved. And we do this by preventive maintenance.
There's a lot of responsibility, of course, not just in the actual production on the part of the manufacturing, but as well as maintaining that sustainability and energy efficiency. And we'd like to turn over to the topic of green jobs. So Director Patrick, can you tell us more? Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about green jobs and why energy efficiency practitioners and ESCOs, energy service companies, are actually considered green jobs?
Well, the green jobs was passed in the previous administration about 2 or 3 years ago. And it really aims to incentivize businesses going into the ecosystem that helps Mother Earth. And one of those activities is what we do here in the energy efficiency practitioners, which are energy service companies and the certified energy managers, auditors, and energy conservation officers. They're considered green jobs because they help in our sustainability journey. By minimizing the amount of energy we consume, we also lessen our requirements in terms of power generation, making all the more renewable energy sufficient to meet our requirements. So yes, it's so much that helps and contributes in making it greener. That's why it's considered as a green job.
And of course, we look forward to a future of more and more green jobs. And of course, reiterating what Director Patrick just said, the less we use, the less we need to generate as well, the more we save. And going back to Engineer Albert, kanina po nabanggit ninyo some of the wonderful contributions and transitions that you were doing within the company from old technologies transitioning into the new. So what can you say, sir, are some of the most powerful contributions you have been able to make for the energy management system of EMD Technologies Philippines?
Sa planta kasi maraming gumagawa at nag-iisip ng ways on how to reduce energy consumption. But then there is an on and off activity. So what I consider is one of my significant contribution to the energy management system is I made a procedure on how to proceed with our programs. As the designated energy manager, I prepared and issued our energy management system manual that is based on ISO 50001.
From the manual, could you tell us even more about some of the projects that you have implemented, you together with your incredible team, on how you've been able to bring energy efficiency and conserve energy throughout the establishment of the business itself?
Our company produces electromechanical relays, and these products are manufactured in automated lines. When you say automated lines, we are using pneumatic devices and actuators to mimic the movement of the human operator. And in order to actuate those pneumatic cylinders and devices, we need compressed air. So in our company, we are using compressed air, and 35% of our consumption is from the compressed air system. So we work around the compressed air and determine what are the needed improvement activities for that system. And air leakage testing and repair is one of the activities that we have done. And also the compressed air demand balance, because you don't have to run a very big compressor for a small machine that you need to operate for the plant. And also, sometimes you have to modify our machines also in order for the machine to have a lesser requirement of the compressed air.
My gosh, Engineer Albert, what you do is something that I believe a lot of people aspire to continue to support. And it's not just about savings and conservation. We see that technology, innovation, and being able to transition towards the future is a huge aspect of EEC. And of course, our EEC practitioners, once again, are our champions, helping us build a better future for all. Up next, let's talk more about ESCO, or Energy Service Companies, when emerging energy returns.
Going into energy efficiency also means savings for the business. So this is doing something that's obliged that you also get benefits from.
The market to transform our inefficient facilities to more efficient requires a lot of money. And that's where the ESCOs can come in, finance the project, guarantee the savings so we can achieve these targets.
Our legacy should not be leaving the carbon footprint to the next generation, but our legacy should be contributing to the mitigation of the issues that we are having now.
It's time to place the spotlight on energy efficiency practitioners such as the budding Energy Service Company, or ESCO industry. Let's welcome back our resident expert, DOE's Energy Utilization Management Bureau Director, Patrick Aquino. Engineer Albert Revilla, Maintenance Department Manager and Certified Energy Manager at EMD Technologies Philippines Incorporated. And Engineer Raymond Marquez, the Managing Director at Econoserve Solutions International Incorporated. And of course, right now we'd like to go straight to Engineer Raymond to please tell us, sir, what is an ESCO and what is the nature of the business, sir?
The ESCO, or the Energy Service Company, sometimes called Energy Savings Company, they're an energy solutions provider, okay, that employ multi-discipline technologies, goods, and services, both for supply and demand side. Besides that, ESCOs can design, procure, install, arrange financing or finance it, operate and maintain, measure and verify, and guarantee the savings. The big difference between contractor or consultants with ESCOs that ESCOs guarantee savings or they don't get paid.
Now, can you tell us a little bit more about the projects covered by ESCOs? I know you mentioned that you can do everything from installing to financing.
Normally, an ESCO can offer two things, no? The BOT shared savings or the guaranteed savings model. On the BOT shared savings model, it's the ESCO finance the project and guarantee the savings. While for the guaranteed savings model, it's the client who finance the projects and the ESCO guarantee the savings. Among the projects that we normally do, we do retrofits, like for example, from non-inverter to inverter, from decentralized to centralized, from very old, inefficient air compressors to more efficient air compressors, steam systems, waste heat recovery, and the likes. Lastly, we install or we propose renewable energy as the last option.
We'd actually like to go back now to Engineer Albert. For EMD Technologies Philippines Incorporated, what are some of the innovative, new, unique operations and processes that you are currently implementing in your establishment?
Actually, we have implemented the BFD into our chilled water pump. We use the BFD in order to control the speed of the chilled water pump. And we streamlined our machines that, for example, in our molding machine, we had one resin dryer to supply the product for one molding machine. But by streamlining our process, we can actually optimize our dryer so that we can supply one dryer into two machines. So we can remove that machine and then we have an energy reduction in our plant.
So in terms of savings and environmental impact, what can you say po, sir, Engineer Albert, are the effects of implementing these energy efficiency projects?
Before the implementation of RA 1125, we have been doing energy conservation and efficiency activities by cost. So we are doing that in order to reduce our energy cost. But after the implementation of RA 1125, we are doing that because of the compliance. And then after I become an energy practitioner, I think it's not only for the cost that we incur, also not only on the compliance that we need to comply, but we are doing that for our contribution to mitigate the environmental issues that we have now.
Going back to Engineer Raymond, we would also like to ask, Engineer, do you think the Philippines needs more ESCOs?
Yes, I strongly believe, knowing that the market to transform our inefficient facilities to more efficient requires a lot of money. And that's where the ESCOs can come in, finance the project, guarantee the savings so we can achieve these targets.
Director Patrick, speaking of ESCOs, how important are they for the Philippines?
Well, ESCOs are important, as mentioned earlier. They will be our partners in terms of making sure that our businesses or designated establishments are energy efficient. There's still a whole set of facilities, buildings that's up for retrofit. Just take a look and go around. Not all are using LED in terms of lighting. Not all are using inverter-type air conditioning. Let's not even get started with the higher efficiency motors. So there's a whole lot of potential still left there. And let me just remind everyone that going into energy efficiency also means savings for the business. So this is doing something that's obliged that you also get benefits from.
And before we end this program, we have our emoji game coming right up. And of course, this is a wonderful, simple game of which each of our guests will be holding 2 paddle boards with 4 different sets of emotions. I shall be asking a question, and their answer shall actually correspond to the emotion that you see them holding up. All right, here we go. Are we ready? Director Patrick, Engineer Albert, and Engineer Raymond?
Yes.
Yes, wonderful. Here we go. Is there a need for more EE practitioners in the Philippines? Woohoo! We've got all smiling faces. And okay, let's see. Who do we ask to expound on this? Engineer Raymond, would you like to expound on why we need more EE practitioners?
Well, the market, as mentioned by Attorney Patrick, is very huge. So, and it's a requirement for type 1 or type 2 to have energy practitioners.
And now, next question. Are you ready, gentlemen? Wonderful. Here we go. What are your thoughts on strengthening and developing more green jobs in the country? Woohoo! I want to put a happy face up too if I had one. Happy face for me. Thank you so much. And let's ask Engineer Albert to give us his opinion on this. on why do you think we need more green jobs in the country?
We are just temporary here in this world, so our legacy should not be the carbon footprints to the next generation, but our legacy should be contributing to the mitigation of the issues that we are having now.
Thank you so much, Engineer Albert. That means a lot, not leaving our carbon footprint on the earth, but of course, just footprints in the sand. And of course, the Director, Patrick, I saw two big smiling faces for both questions. Please give us why.
Well, of course, green jobs is something that this particular administration is working on. It's our pathway towards sustainability. Remember, the more we save, the more we help the environment. And this is where the focus of energy efficiency is. Savings to your pocket and saving Mother Earth.
It's truly been such an insightful experience to learn more about EE practitioners and ESCOs in the country. Any final words for our viewers? We can begin with Engineer Raymond.
For all the designated establishments, let's be reminded you cannot manage what you cannot measure.
You cannot manage what you cannot measure. Wise words from Engineer Raymond. Engineer Albert?
Thank you for having me here. And being an energy practitioner has made me do what I wanted to give to the next generation. So it has been a blessing. It has been an opportunity to do this as the DOE requires us, but it has been also an opportunity, yes. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Engineer Albert. Said like a true champion, really dedicating his life to the service of people and the planet. And Director Patrick, any final words for this episode?
Well, for this episode, we're encouraging everyone to consider, go into the practice and be an energy efficiency practitioner. It's being empowered. We've always said that we have the power to make energy efficiency the way of life for all. So do consider going into the energy efficiency practitioner. Be like our guest today, making a difference by empowering choices.
Thank you so much, Director Patrick, Engineer Albert, Engineer Raymond. And of course, reminding everyone once again that the power is ours to make a difference. That is all the time we have for today's episode, but I am sure everyone now has a clearer picture of how energy efficiency practitioners work. Next episode, we'll have another interesting topic: energy efficiency and conservation in the commercial sector. I'm your host, Antoinette Toss. Make sure to join us next time here on Emerging Energy on CNN Philippines.